Hello, Taylor Elwood here. Welcome to the Sacred Masculinity blog or quest. And today I want to talk about the role of systems in creating effective habits, because if we want to change behaviors in our lives, we necessarily need to create habits. And at the same time, it's not just any approach to habits will do. We're coming to the point of the year here where in the calendar year, we're going to be hitting the new year. And of course, what people inevitably do is they say, I want to make New Year's resolutions. I want to make changes. And I always find it interesting because those New Year's resolutions are usually out the window within 2 weeks. And you might wonder why I'm making this video in, say, November instead of January. But I think that really it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. People are always wanting to make changes in behavior. The problem is a lot of times people are focused on outcome-based results. And so they'll be like, well, I want to lose 5 pounds. Okay. And so they lose 5 pounds. And then afterwards, the habit that they put into place to lose that 5 pounds goes out the window. Or you'll be like, I want to stop smoking. And what ends up happening is that they aren't able to effectively pull it off. The reason why is because they're focused on a specific outcome, and they get caught up on that outcome, and they don't look at it as a system or a process. The way I approach things, both in my spiritual work and life in general, is that I treat results as a map, as an indicator that I'm going the right way, a sign on a map. So a result in and of itself isn't the ultimate outcome. It's just an indicator as to whether or not I'm going the right way, or I need to tweak or change something in my process. I find a lot of times that people do need to tweak or change things in their overall process, because what they're doing is going to require a gradual improvement. So, your initial system, let's say you decide you're going to exercise every morning. Your initial system is going to be, I'm going to get out of the bed and I'm going to carve out some time to exercise. But then after that, you've got to come up with specific exercise routines that you do. And so the question is, what kind of exercise routines are you going to do? One of the things that I try to do is I try to pick out specific exercise routines that I want to do. And I'll start doing those exercise routines. And then what I do is I look next at how I can gradually increase my exercise time. So in my particular case, let's say I started exercising 5 minutes in the morning. I'll do that consistently for a while. Getting into the habit of exercising 5 minutes may not do a lot in terms of helping me lose pounds, but what it does do is it instills a habit that I'm going to exercise every day. Then what I do is I tweak that system and I say, okay, I'm going to exercise 2 more minutes. I'm going to add a new exercise routine. And so I do that. And what I do is I gradually increase the period of time where I'm exercising in order to make sure that that I'm getting in everything I need to do to make a gradual change. This is a systems approach to a habit. It's building a system around the habit, and it's looking at how to create incremental changes around that specific habit in order to get better results. Most people try to go all in on a specific habit that they want to do. Like if they'll say, for example, like a diet, like, oh, I'm going to diet. Well, unless you can find some way to get yourself to entirely buy into that diet, you're probably not going to succeed. How do you succeed with a diet? Make gradual changes. Phase out, for example, if you want to switch out certain foods, gradually phase those foods out. Don't eat the same foods every time, but gradually phase them out. And like in my case, I've been known to, I like bread a little too much. So what I've been doing lately is I've been phasing out the bread in my life. I only eat 1 slice instead of 2 slices of bread. That may not seem like a huge change, and it's really not, but it's a little change that nonetheless has the result of gradually allowing me to phase that bread out. What I'll do is I'll continue to make these gradual adjustments over time. And the benefit of making these gradual adjustments is that it'll make it easier for me to do less, or to do less with more, but it'll also allow me to make these changes in a way that is effective for me. And I think a lot of times that's one of the most important things that we could do, is we want to make gradual changes. So if you look at your life and you're not happy with your life, what I recommend doing is look at an area of your life that you want to make a change. Make one change and focus yourself on that. I'll use another example, self-love practice. My self-love practice consists of doing a voicemail pretty much every day. In fact, I'll do it right now to model. I'll do a voicemail right here, because by doing that, what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to do this. So I'll get onto my phone here, and I'm going to, let's see here, I'm going to pick out me, and I'm going to send a voicemail to myself. Hey, Taylor, I just want to tell you that I love you and I'm proud of you for following through on continuing to do voicemails to yourself and really just focusing in on everything that the actions you can be taking to improve your overall life. I'm proud of you in the way that you're showing up. I'm really glad that you consistently make the effort, and I believe in you. Keep doing it, brother. Now, that's a short and sweet message to myself. And then I'll tell myself that I love myself each day. I'll look in the mirror and I'll tell myself that I love myself. I create multiple little behaviors throughout the day to remind myself how I feel about myself, that I love myself, that I value myself, that I respect myself. These gradual changes were built in. When I initially started my self-love practice, I would tell myself that I loved myself until I believed it. Because there was a period of time there where I really didn't believe it. And that's what I would do. And I did that every day until I got to the point where I started believing it. Then I added my mirror work, and I started looking in the mirror and telling myself that I love myself. Then I started doing these voicemails recently as another way. And I can listen to the voicemails. I don't even have to, but I can listen to them. And by doing that, I'm building this habit of self-love into my life and validating what I'm doing further and further. So this is an important process and principle to remember with the work that you're doing. And I share that with you because I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in specific behaviors where we're trying to make positive changes in our lives, but we're not effectively integrating them in. One of the most important things you can do to create positive change in your life is to just consistently show up in a way that allows you to transform what you do. And you show up consistently by creating a system around your specific habit, and then you improve on the habit. You improve on the system. Adding voicemails, for example, is a way to improve on the system. Getting up in the morning and exercising for 15 minutes is a way of improving on the system. Making sure I exercise at night. That's another thing I've done where I'll exercise in the morning and then I also exercise at night. It's the same thing. By making that time to exercise and take care of myself, what I'm doing is I'm gradually improving on and increasing the effectiveness of my overall routines and allowing me to transform my life in a positive way. And you can do the same by making these little changes and tweaks in your life.